Welcome back to Lethal Hammer's channel. Today in this video we are going to be installing the Koolance NX580 water block on our GTX 580 superclock graphics card from EVGA. As you can see, we've taken off the stock cooler. If you want to see how that was done, refer back to our other video that I have uploaded. But let's get right into it. As you can see, Koolance ships the blocks with thermal pads. They send two different ones of different thicknesses. I chose to use the gray pad, and you do have to cut it to size. They do provide a chart that shows you the dimensions that you should most likely cut the pads. They do show or give you an option for overlap. Again, these were cut to size. You'll see that there's a blue backing and then there's a clear backing on the top. What we'll do is peel off the blue side. This pad's a little bit wider because it's covering quite a bit. The nice thing is Koolance does give you quite a bit of excess. So you'll see, I did most of my cuts, but I had a couple mess ups here and there, but still got quite a bit left. I got a lot of little pieces too. So don't feel like you have to use it all. There will be some left over. This one right up here. Let's just make sure. Get this in. Sorry, I had it cut. I just didn't have it in the stack. Paying attention to making videos rather than. So I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit smaller. I don't want these overlapping. Okay, so we have all the thermal pads in place. For this instance, I'm going to install the block, and I'm going to use the Koolance thermal grease for the time being, because my other thermal grease has not shown up yet, unfortunately. Now we'll grab the block. You see, nice and shiny. I wiped it all down, made sure all the grease was off of it. This is the tricky part. So they kind of give you some bearing. You want to try to line it up as best you can the first time because you don't want to slide it around. What I'll do. On there. Just make sure the screw holes are lined up. Just off kilter just a little. Okay, now we'll start adding the screws. Now, Koolance uses its own screws for all of them. So the original EVGA screws that came on the card, just put them in the same plastic baggie that the screws that the Koolance ones came in. That way you won't lose them and you can put them in a box. Usually just put them all in place. Koolance does ship the screws with plastic. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a screw with a little plastic washer Definitely make sure to put those in between. Reason being is the screw heads on these are a little bit smaller than the ones that came stock. Okay, there you have it. Blocks installed. I usually like to take a quick glance. You can tell sometimes when you look down in the block edges, you can see where the block is touching, and you can see the memory pads on there, and make sure they're all attached properly, and definitely looks all the way all over. They look good. So there, Koolance block installed on the GTX580. Let's go ahead and finish this out. We'll go ahead and put the single bracket. Make sure I got this the right way, which I don't. There we go. EVGA is kind enough to tell you the markings. It's actually funny, their stock ones don't have the markings for DVI, and it doesn't say DVI, HDMI, and all that great stuff. Again, for the stock one, you want to make sure to save all those screws, as always. If you ever have a problem with your cards with EVGA, you do have to return it stock. So you have to put the stock cooler, the stock backplate, the stock everything. One more screw here. The screw just mounts this plate to the card. Actually, I put that the wrong way. Oh yeah, learning on camera. Can never do things right the first time. This screw goes in from the top side. There we go. That's the right way. Sorry guys. And there you have it. Now you have a single slot GTX 580 superclocked, water cooled. So we got all the pads. Actually, this might be a better angle to show you. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see the pads in there, both sitting on the regulators and the memory. You can see the chip underneath. Nice. It's a really nice looking block. Koolance did a very nice job. So I'll have to polish up the chrome part so there's no fingerprints, but there you have it. Very easily installed water block for your GTX 580. So again, thanks for watching the videos. Check on back, and we'll have videos of both the GTX 580s and SLI in the system installed.